Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap with Brian Beamish. Actually, I wouldn't mind the little intro. I'm just going to put my name in there. So I find that other people that do videos for the site, they don't do the fancy intro that I do. So the intros is all about Brian. My crazy antics. Actually, I spent, as you can see, it's about 11:30 here, about an hour after when I usually like to do these videos for the public. But I went on a 2 hour and 20-minute rant this morning with the good people on the site. I spent the first half hour of the video this morning just lecturing people about personality types. And the assignment that I've given our OGers on the site to do the test and relate their strengths and weaknesses as a person to their trading plan and how they've set up supports and also leveraged strengths based on their personality type. So a lot of what I do on TRI is probably more along the lines of 30-year market veteran trying to help you set yourself up for success, looking at the bigger picture. Spend some time also with the good people today talking a little bit about how I see other industry veterans that have been just doing this game forever. Setups, stuff like that. It's pretty simple. But they actually spend more of their time trying to get sort of their students or, people that they're working with to be thinking things like intuitively. And how do you set yourself up so that when you actually are pulling the trigger on, say, a futures trade or something, you're not like riddled with anxiety. I guess I've been teaching this school program now for, a good 7 years. And I actually feel like the site itself is at the point where it seems to have enough internal inertia that actually I think, probably maybe 2022 kind of idea. I want to sort of back away from public interaction and doing things like daily videos and teaching on the site. And being more sort of like philosophical about, writing books and memoirs and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a difficult time for society. It's going to be a difficult time for the economy. We're probably going to move into more of what they call a command economy versus a consumer-driven economy. I would imagine also, too, with the general propensity for greater government role, especially they're going to use the sort of the cover of this sickness to justify that. They're going through the process of the global reset. Hopefully we're loud enough that we can keep people like Klaus in the closet. But you never know. Can't predict the future, so who knows what'll happen here. The great part about what we do at TRI, of course, is that we're very liberating. So you don't necessarily have to live that life. I wouldn't recommend it because it's very hard on your spirit. I believe, especially, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a woman, so I can't comment on that. But I do know for men, they really need, especially like young men, they really need that ability to have a dream. And to be able to believe that through hard work, through perseverance, there is actually a way out. You can actually buy Lambos. You can buy islands. You can dictate your own terms. I've seen lots of people at TRI do it, and I'm fairly financially comfortable. I ain't got no complaints. So I love that about TRI. The only problem is that you have to tune out about, oh God, probably 95% of what you hear in the public. I kind of lectured the community, which I don't know whether they like or not, but you know, as a guy who's been at this game for 30 plus years, I'm allowed to lecture. That this was a collective brain fart by literally the public getting so bearish of this through this window here. And you know, I put out tweets. You know, I went long through here. It was beautiful watching the people that I work with, them sort of tentatively believe, and then okay, and then all right, we're starting to see, all right, man, okay, all right, fucking amen. And it was really nice to watch play out, but this is such a beautiful testament about how basically 95% of the world got this trade completely wrong. And to the detriment, of course, of their portfolios. So, you know, it's what we teach at TRI is empowering, but it means that you're going to have to stop, you know, listening to 90% of social media. I mean, for heaven's sakes, you know, don't fucking listen to people fucking who go ape shit bullish just on the drop of a hat. You know, on social media. That's the easiest way for you to just, you know, basically give the market your money. You know, the irony for us is we really shouldn't have an opinion. Opinions are pointless. They're meaningless. They're useless. Just follow the data points. So if we look at the market like this, well, I mean, why would I be bearish of US dollars? Just follow the data points. That thing's still pointing up, and it's pointing up much, much higher. Stock market kind of stuck. And actually what's really cool, I was showing this. I mean, you can see the small cap market just stuck. I've said repeatedly what I think actually has to happen here to get any sort of leg higher going. Whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be stock market, whether it be commodities, especially something like oil, whether it be junior stocks. I actually think you need the Fed bazookas to come out. Now, I don't know whether the Fed bazookas even do come out. Fed might just go, you know, we've stimulated as much as we feel like. The data is saying that the economy is going to do really well. Let's just keep an eye on this sickness and keep pumping the vaccines. And there just is no more bazookas. But I do feel as though, especially seeing this, the way the small cap market's acting, it's looking for that bazooka. And you know, it's not here yet. Interesting too, if the bond market sort of settles down here and doesn't keep crapping out, maybe the Fed says, well, there's no need for a bazooka. That's definitely a possibility too. This might, you know, we might actually be in a market where it might actually be able to stabilize itself. We'll see. I found it interesting that last spring, Mr. Powell did specifically say that corporate bond market and the corporate balance sheet was in trouble and they needed stability. And of course, you know, they did that. And that's where I get the term Fed bazooka. That's what they called it last spring. But when pressed about that lately, he was like, no, they're okay. There shouldn't be a problem there. So we'll see how that plays out. I do find it interesting that a lot of our site OGs, well, not a lot, but one guy in particular is just a fucking killer trader. He's actually been getting long bonds in here. So I was pretty impressed with that, David. David has turned into a hell of a sharpshooter trader. So kind of malaise in the stock market, and almost everything I look at, unless it's like one of our, you know, beautiful bottom end of the range, you know, double bottom, momentum divergence, volume pouring in, unless it looks like that, it's kind of just stuck. I mean, the problem here, of course, is are stocks cheap? I mean, no. Stocks are expensive. I honestly don't know how this has to resolve, but my hunch is, like I said, if you really want to see another big push higher, even through last fall, and specifically through last summer, the Fed came in and pushed the market a little bit more. Then last fall, heading into the election, I think they pushed the market a little bit more just to make damn sure that election went through fine. Now, do they really have any need to push the market higher? I don't know. And of course, we said, it was kind of shocking how that's almost an exactly 1 year coast to coast. And I've seen this happen. We saw it happen in Bitcoin a couple years ago. Markets love this 1 year coast to coast. So I'm not totally convinced that this is a rip-roaring bull. And of course, as always, there's no fucking way I could buy an asset that looks like that. I just couldn't. Are there assets that are in the market? Ironically enough, the assets that are in the market that I actually could justify buying are stuff that look like this. This one's still a little bit early. I want the gap to be filled in. But, it's kind of funny on some of my little ones. There's this little guy. Now that is a chart I can sink my teeth into. What do you think? Any room for this thing to move up here? Are we coming in where Wall Street, or, in this case, Howe Street? That's the financial street here in Vancouver. Are we coming in where Howe Street is long this name? Yes. So that's kind of name I can sink my teeth in. How ironic. That's gold. I actually kind of like the gold sector now. Go figure. But I'll tell you, there are not a hell of a lot of stocks that look like this. There was one actually recently. I was pretty proud of myself for stepping in on this one. Kevin was all pissed off because he missed it, but if anything, that makes me feel better because, damn, Kevin's been just killing it. And he's in a bunch of stocks that I'm not in. I've totally been left behind, so I'm all pissed off. So I got into one here, and it's rocking, and he's not in it. So, phew, finally. Just kidding, dude. Love you, babe. And if there's any pullback on this thing, it'll give him the opportunity to get in. And I'm sure he will get in. But the question is, what the hell's the damn name of that thing? It was a fun one. Yeah, there's Nat. So I was able to sneak in off this bad boy. But you can see the chart, right? Would Brian be interested in coming in at the bottom end of ranges here? Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that I do. All right? Show me W's. Show me W's. Okay, well, it makes sense why this thing's moving up. And now the cool part about it is we can actually start drawing foggies off of this, which paints insane levels up top here. So check this out. This is kind of fun. So I'll do a foggy and I'll make a grand prediction. I will say Colonel Mustard did it with the candlestick in the drawing room. No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say first stop for me on this bad boy is 470. And we're already at 380. That's not so bad. Probably a good shot for 616. And, of course, if this thing really gets going apeshit, what a surprise, 877 sitting at that old high. So these are sort of this is my roadmap going forward. And you don't believe me? Check this out. This is just, it's like certifiable insanity. Because I was even telling the community earlier today. I've been banging my head against the wall here at TRI for 7 years straight, day in, day out, no quit, no faulting, just dogged determination. I think the community has got to the point where it's got enough inertia behind it that I think I can slowly start stepping away. I've been contemplating who I could get as a TA for the level 3 program, like somebody who could actually talk options to people. Still a little bit leery about that, but I've my TA right now, Zach, he's awfully close. And by all means, if you're a TRI OG and you're like, oh, dude, I do tons of options, I'll be more than happy to, then talk to me. But anyway, point of the matter here is I think I'm ready. I want to go write this book. I've been wanting to write a book about my adventures here. And the missing piece, the final ingredient was something like this falcon bomb concept. And actually, I spent a lot of time in the video today trying to explain Feigenbaum and this idea of bifurcation, and applying the bifurcated levels to trading. And you can see the bifurcation process as it develops in the way that the levels are traded to through the bifurcation. So we hit an 877 level this morning, and I was like, I got to ring the register. So I got a really kick-ass fill right up top here. And you can see, look at that. I mean, it went zipping up, enter chaos, and then it just collapsed. This is crazy. But this is the final piece that was missing from the whole equation. And now I can feel like, I've got to write this out. I got to write the book. I've got to get all my stories out on paper, memoirs. I've got to get the estate set up for Liam so he's taken care of for the rest of his life on the royalties from that book. And then I can go and rest. So this was sort of the missing piece of the puzzle, and I had a lot of fun walking people through this today. And it just makes understanding the market a hell of a lot easier now. So I don't know where I was going with all that, but it's kind of a fun story for you. Stock market, it's just there. Not really doing a hell of a lot. Do find it interesting. We first 2 weeks study of the quarter said that oil market was going to be strong. And we went through a bunch of oil names in the daily brief today, and gee whiz, they're very, very strong. I don't know whether this thing's ready to actually crap out yet. We still have the quarter end coming up on Wednesday. I think there's a bunch of options expiry business that was done yesterday. So Fridays usually are a quiet day after options expiry. And we should just sort of slowly slide. Actually, no, that's not true. This year, big options expiry was last week. So this is just a quiet weekly expiry. If I understand correctly, there's a whole bunch of Bitcoin options that expire either today or tomorrow or Sunday. So you might want to keep an eye out for options information there. But I think that this, the energy market probably will be well bid into next week. And also, too, this sort of corresponds with the idea that the economy, look at the stock market. The economy is pretty strong here, but we're getting near the top. And if this thing does start to top out and roll over, then that's probably indications that we're moving along the economic cycle. And the Fed's probably going to start getting ready to raise interest rates. But they've publicly said recently they have no plans to raise interest rates anytime soon. So if that means the economy is still strong and we're not ready to go into the next cycle, then really what we should see is we should see this thing crank right back up to new highs. And it's interesting, in other parts of the commodity-specific sectors, we kind of saw that. I was showing people I'm long a bunch of this Canadian forestry stock. What the hell is it? RFP, I think it is. Yeah. Resolution Forest Products, whatever the fuck that is. And, there's one candle pattern that's totally Brian Beamish. You'll never learn about this anywhere else. It's a key reversal. And damn, that is a very, very bullish sign. This thing's probably just going to go blast straight up through the highs here. And actually what got me into this stock to begin with, if I'm not mistaken, was a key reversal right down here. I seem to remember. Maybe it was on the U.S. stock. No, I don't see. Wonder where it was. Anyway, somewhere down in here. Might have been on the U.S. stock. RFP. It's actually, I think I played this through US. Oh, look, there it is. I even have it highlighted for you. So that's what got me interested in the stock to begin with. So what do you think? Would you like to have a nice little email list of key reversals in your mailbox in the morning to give you ideas that do that? You tell me. I'm not going to hold a gun to your head, but holy Shiite Muslim. And I have searched high and low, and nobody can do this online. I think I found somebody to try and help me do this on a consistent basis. We'll see how it goes. It's fits and starts. It's interesting. But anyway, so point of the matter here is I wouldn't necessarily, because it's top end range, I wouldn't necessarily come in on the buy side here. What I would just simply say is, damn, that is a powerful market message. The market is sending to us in glorious Technicolor. I'm a bull. Fuck you. That's what that's saying to me. And, this is commodities. It's materials. It's that same sector as oil. It's the hot part of the market. So, back to our original conversation, do I really want to get too bearish of oil in here with that first 2 week study? And now what this looks like to me is this looks like a hell of a goddamn double bottom that's trying to form in here. Once we get on the other side of the quarter, we want to give the first 2 weeks of the new quarter breathing space. Then we'll see if this double bottom comes in and they just churn it higher into the quarter end, which I expect, and then it continues into the first week or two of the new quarter, well, that means we're still in that part of the economic cycle. So, with that said, not ready to really, it's what, the end of March. The saying goes, buy or unleaded the middle of February, sell it the middle of May, made money 9 out of the past 10 years. Is this actually the middle of March when that cliche ends? No. So I wouldn't be surprised if this sort of funny bunny, fugazi, silly billy market goes on for at least another couple months. Yeah, so there you go. And crazy crypto. I think I told you guys recently, we live in a world where the world must grow because we live in this debt world. Everything's financed by debt. If we don't grow, the whole fucking fugazi falls apart. The world must grow. So that means anything that's showing any signs of growth, it's gonna grow. The only problem I have with corn is kind of the same thing as buying the S&P 500. Can I really realistically come in? There's the low last year. Here's the high. Can I realistically come in and invest in this here and expect to make great returns, 10x return on my money? No. In fact, actually, I even did sell some up top here, and I've got bids to buy if this thing pukes out at things like Mountain Man 50% rules, 200-day moving averages, 1,000,000 miles lower. If it does puke out, I think it's more a case there's something actually happened, like story-wise, exchange hack. Mr. Mayor McCheese over there at the BIS is going to eat crypto, or maybe he's going to sit on crypto. I don't know. Whole damn space has to be regulated now. I don't know. I don't think so. In fact, I would even say even these government agencies are probably not big enough now to stop crypto. What I could see is pockets of crypto that could be susceptible. Things like, do the Bank of International Settlements come and shit on things like DeFi? Maybe. If you are a DeFi fan, it's interesting to see how the bears are very active and the bulls have basically fallen asleep. Bulls are trying to wake up here. Let's see if they can get any sort of inertia behind them. Did find it interesting this morning. People like John Bollinger were coming out overnight on things like crypto and Bitcoin saying, he thought maybe the washout was done. And time for counter-trend rallies. But that's probably about the extent I would leave this. That this is a counter-trend rally right now. Probably like that Rail and a few other names I was showing you. You're going to have a lot of names that have looked like this. We're actually coming up into levels that actually you should expect resistance. And maybe this is the end of this move, not the beginning. That would make sense to me. The only problem is that this isn't going to be polite. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a grind. this isn't a place I can put new money to work. Maybe I'm ringing the register, taking profits. Who knows? Not many names where I can really take the risk of coming in with new money. I'm cautious. I'm very cautious in here. I mean, the problem, it's not really like these are bad stories, but how do you justify coming in and buying that? You can't buy there. At least I can't. I mean, maybe you can. Go for it. Same thing on Doge. Even with sort of the big sort of public touts, now the Doge army has to stay strong. Why? I have no fucking clue. But are they maybe walking into a trap here? I mean, I hope for their sake that this is like one low, two lows, three lows, breaking down trends, away we go, new leg to the upside. But I'm from Missouri, so if you understand that reference, then you'll understand that I got to see it first to believe it. So, not a hell of a lot I can buy. The names actually I do like that I would be buying, they're just sort of sitting there. I mean, Geo's already gone a little bit far away. I started touting this to you guys a little while ago when it was down against these bottoms. Ubic is a little bit expensive, but down in this area, more than happy to be a buyer. Mona, instead of chasing the dogs, let's chase the cats. There's the W. So, caveat emptor. The only problem with this guy is, could we maybe come down and just sort of swim down here a little while? Sure. But this is a name that maybe I could put some money into. The Tube. Good old Justin Sun. What's he up to? I mean, huge W. Maybe reloads his own this and just, oh, you know what? For fun, I'll throw in a stink bid with that Beamish guy for maybe $5 worth. If it goes up 100x, it's $500. That's something I could see happen through the summer, no problem. So that's about my summary of crypto right now. These guys all just sort of playing around up at the top end of their ranges. I mean, there's the M. You can see it. You saw last time when it M'd. I had to wait for some sort of W to start the next leg. So there's the M. Maybe wait for some sort of W here to start the next leg. ETH, there's the M. Actually, a head and shoulders. Same thing, The good part about ETH, look at this beautiful consolidation, right? There's your level. Right now, it's just sort of like, this is just a big-ass fucking range. And that's just sort of, there's no way I could touch that there. That's sort of how I'm looking at, same thing about the stock market. Same thing about, like, the S&P 500s and, probably Russell 2000. I can't touch that kind of thing. That's just not me, so. Okay, well, there's your summary. Happy, happy, joy, joy. I could very easily see through the weekend, nice little counter trend rally. And, on your little names, there's no reason why you can't be hunting lower time frame setups. Look at that cute little W that came in yesterday, I think, on this block stack. I zoom out on these things. I don't really see any W's here, so probably gonna have to wait for a bit of consolidation, I reckon. So there you go. What day is today? Today's Friday? Maybe give today Friday. Maybe see if things start setting up heading out of the U.S. retail session and maybe start hunting setups heading into the weekend market. Okay, rant. Hope you got some value out of that. I suppose we'll see everybody on Sunday for broiler chickens. And, of course, students, I'd love to hear that you're just continuing working away. Studying. And, of course, Brian's going to go chillax. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. All the best and bye for now. Yeah.